The cold front's still north of Tulsa. And if you look at the temperature difference right now, I can show you that here, and you can see where the cold front is located versus where air is still very warm tonight. So we have the 70s in the metro. We have 59 up in Pawhuska. That's behind the cold front. Also some rain cooled air. 56 out in Pawnee. So very warm, and we're more concerned about the severe weather potential tonight along the cold front and then to the south. So 70s from Tulsa south, and then the cooler air obviously to the north. Temperatures are going to fall during the day tomorrow. But tonight, of course, the big story is just getting through the severe weather potential, and that will remain our tornado watches until 1 o'clock this morning. They may extend that. We'll just have to see how these storms continue to develop tonight and continue to act tonight. So we have our severe thunderstorm warning, and these storms are now getting into Okmulgee County, the town of Okmulgee. This is going to be about the next 15 minutes that these storms are coming in. That leading edge is just out to the west now, right along State Highway 56, 16, just west of Beggs. You're going to start to get some rain to pick up and get heavier in Beggs. Already heavy rain in Mounds. And then down to the south, the really strong winds. That's a few miles west of Okmulgee, and that will begin moving through with 60 to almost 70 miles per hour potentially with this storm. Trav.
All right, and the rumbles of thunder are happening across the area. And Vaughn, I noticed, was coming through the Tulsa area. Hey, Vaughn, can you give us an update on what it was like coming into Tulsa besides the gusty winds? What do you have?
Yeah, I'm just getting on I think it's the Gilcrease, the new turnpike here. Just off 51. Still getting the 50-mile-an-hour gusts with heavy rain. Haven't seen any hail yet. And like I said, I'm still on this northern fringe. I think this one's very, very close to severe with just the wind. But that severe area is just to my south. So we're going to head south and then back southeast and follow this back end of Broken Arrow and Tulsa. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. And we'll see. Let's go to, I think we're going to go to Brandon. Hey, Brandon, do you have those strong winds too that Vaughn has right now?
No, not currently right now, Travis. Right now, we're just getting about 15 to 20 mile-an-hour winds. We're still out in the light precip shield of this main core. This main core is about to come over the top of us. Like I said, we're getting about 15 to 20 mile-an-hour winds right now. But the lightning has really increased. Cloud-to-ground lightning has really increased. So we need to watch it as it may be on the uptick. Back to you.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. So, again, lines of rain and thunder coming into the Tulsa area on radar at this moment. The shower and thunderstorm activity continues to show up across really almost the central Tulsa County area. So let's go to radar if we could. And, well, there we have downtown. That's looking to the west, southwest. And so this is rain's just starting to get into downtown right now. Again, no immediate threat in the immediate Tulsa area. If you're on the south side of town, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. But from midtown Tulsa to the north, some gusty winds. So now the heaviest rains around the Berry Hill area. And that's where Vaughn is right now, going down pretty much the turnpike. And so he's going down in there. It's going to be curving across. So heavier rains around Oakhurst. Again, no damaging winds that we see at this particular second. We are watching though, because any notch, anything happening, we'll have to be watching very closely. So that's coming up on Highway 75 right now, coming into Tulsa. And then you see around the Sapulpa area, and then that extends heavy rains. Alan's in Sapulpa right now. Hey, Alan, while we're in Sapulpa, let's take a quick update from you. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis, about to hop back on the highway here and head a little bit south and stay ahead of the leading edge of that storm. But we got some significant rain there for a little bit, maybe just a couple minutes to pass through, maybe some small branches that had blown across the roadways there. But right now, our last wind speed is about 10, 15 miles an hour. So we're, again, behind it just a bit. But seems to be in good shape otherwise. A little bit of lightning, but nothing super significant right now, but we'll keep a close eye on it.
All right.
Back to you.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it. So again, some good news showing up in those areas. A little bit further to the south, we continue across Okmulgee County, and you see some heavy rains going on around Kiefer, coming into Glenpool. And then also really along 75, and so anywhere from 75, and then also into areas, you can see Dentonville Road and around Beggs Highway 16. And with the severe weather going on, it's just coming in on the west side of Okmulgee right now. So we're going to get a band of moderate to heavy rainfall. Should have some winds right now, 50, 55 miles an hour along this leading edge, possibly a little stronger. So you can see it on Highway 56, not too far from the lake, just west of Okmulgee at this time. So that's continuing to move off to the east. So you got something, Aaron?
Brandon did just report he got a 40 mile
Okay.
Gusts.
Okay, so winds just came up to 40. Okay, on the north side of Tulsa, or on the west side of Tulsa, kind of northwest side. Okay, so this is what we're watching in Okmulgee County. So there's going to be a little bit of hail mixed in with that as that continues to move off to the east. And here's the leading edge of that right in here. So it's on the west side of Okmulgee from just near Beggs, west of Preston, extending back to the south. No rotation at this point that looks significant or anything to worry about south of Henrietta right now. Sequoia's not too far from that leading edge of those strong winds. Let's talk to Sequoia. He's in Henrietta right now. Sequoia, update from you. I know right behind you, we might hold you up for a second to check out what's going on because that is literally right on your doorstep. What do you have looking behind in your rearview mirror at this time?
Right now, we have strong winds coming through Henrietta. It's on the leading edge. They're going from basically west to east. I'm sorry. We do have some debris and stuff flying around in the roadway. So it is definitely severe down here. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So we're continuing to watch. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. Stacia's been watching that. We'll get a storm track from her in just a second. But again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. They'll continue in effect until 12:45. We're at 12:25 right now, and that does clip into southern Tulsa County. So that is one of the storms that is in that area. So as we said, that's just a radar beam that's showing up here. But let's take a look at it again coming up across the area. So this is extending from southern Tulsa County, really western Tulsa County, all the way through Okmulgee County. And so that's what we're going to keep an eye on right now, and that extends back to the south. We do have a tornado watch in effect. Not a warning, just a watch. So we're watching out for anything that starts to spin. But that's a look at what's going on there. Stacia has a storm track for us. Stacia.
Trav, on this track, we're going to make it about 57 miles per hour, so still 55 to 60, consistent as it does track off to the east and slightly northeast. So with this track here, through Okmulgee County now, and that will continue then into western parts of Muskogee County, and then from Henrietta, Waulika, Glenpool, we'll track it about 55 to 60, as I mentioned, east-northeast. That will put it here in the Shelter area by 12:27, Dewar by 12:28, Okmulgee still 12:30. That's just pretty much in Okmulgee now, just on the west side of town. Morris by 12:34, Lena by 12:43. So counties that are included in the next 30 minutes include Coweta, Haskell, Muskogee. Muskogee is going to be in about 30 minutes, Chakota about 20 to 25, and then Rocky Point, Taylor Ferry, okay. All areas are going to have to be alert and watching as the storm approaches. It's fast. It's 55, 60 miles per hour. So that puts it, again, in the next 30 minutes in Muskogee, Summit, Oktaha, potentially up to Taylor Ferry and Rocky Point.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Also along that leading edge or boundary, and I don't know, Aaron, can you give us a mesonet with some wind temperatures, what's going on right there for a second? Because we do have that cold front coming in across the areas that I'm going to see where that's located right now and get an idea as well, because it looks like it should be still north. You got it? Okay. This gives us a bit of an idea of where that boundary is. And so that's right from around Bartlesville, and then behind that we have strong gusty winds. This is a lot colder air in here, 31 mile an hour wind speeds. That's not gusts, that's just wind speeds. And some of that colder air and it will be brushing into the area. But we do have a converging area right in here, so that's what we call convergence. And you have some?
I was going to say the next graphic will be current temperatures.
You want to advance, or can we advance that? I don't have that set here. I can get that if you have it there. Thank you for doing that. So you notice, and Stacia mentioned this a little bit ago as well, brr, and then it's very mild in advance of it. We have high humidity and temperatures hanging around 70, low 70s. And then Bob was talking about how much cooler it was in Bartlesville, but then it's just plain cold, comparatively speaking, up in Ponca City. There's some extremely cold air. In Nebraska and northern Kansas during the afternoon, it was in the low to mid 30s. And there was wind chills like around 20. So that gives you an idea how cold this air mass is. And so that's pretty impressive. So that's what we're seeing right now, and then that merging in with strong thunderstorms. All right, let's go back to radar again, and we'll take a look at this warning continues, as we said, across areas mainly south, but we're going to go on up and look at Sequoia. Let's talk to him one more time. Sequoia, what are you having going on in Henrietta right now?
Right now, Travis, just out in Henrietta, lightning cooperates. there seems to be a lowering of some sort right on the leading edge of how these fingers are sticking out. I'm right here at 75 and I-40. As we get back on 40, we go west. East. But right now, it's just kind of concerning, and hopefully everybody's taking the safety precautions on the severe thunderstorm.
Yeah, it's pretty noisy down there. That leading edge again through central Tulsa, going down through Okmulgee now on the central and east sides of Okmulgee. Station will have a storm track from you in a second. Let's go along the leading edge, starting up around, let's go to Bartlesville first. We'll go right along the leading edge if we can, and then you can see where Bob is located. Let's take a traffic 8 if we could from Bartlesville for a minute, and you'll be able to see what we're just, Bartlesville is just below our reflectivity sign, but we're looking back to the southwest on 123, and so that's what we're keeping an eye on right now as well. Because of that rain and thunderstorms that are coming in. And so if you look at Bartlesville, there's not a whole lot, but there's lightning that's starting to move into town. We don't expect you. Originally, we thought you guys were going to have the worst severe weather. Right now, it appears you're not. So there's just moderate to occasionally heavy downpours of rain to your west moving on in. All right, so on radar at this point, still heavy rains and thunderstorms right around really central Washington County, and that extends back now into southern Washington County around Oshaleta, and then that comes back down to near Skiatook. As we go further down to the south, we're continuing to see and monitor the heavier storms moving across central Tulsa right at this moment, and so that's come into downtown Tulsa. Let's go to Brandon. Brandon, if you could, give me an update. What do you have as that storm's coming in on you?
Yeah, Travis, right now here at 244 in Delaware, we're getting very heavy rain, a lot of ponding here along 244. We're moving east. Inside this core, we've experienced gusts up to 40 miles an hour, so not quite the winds that Vaughn was experiencing, but still 40 mile an hour. As of right now, a lot of cloud to cloud lightning, Travis, and just a lot of rain. Back to you.
Okay.
We'll take that rain.
Thank you. Yep, indeed. Okay, and again, radar back down to the south a little bit. Vaughn has been on the, he's on the south side, and Alan is, Vaughn's on the leading edge of it right now, I should say, and Alan's now near the Jinx area. Alan, quick update from you. What do you have as far as weather concerns at this moment?
Yeah, Travis, we're coming through the Glenpool area right now. It's got some heavy rain, like a lot of cloud to ground lightning at this time. Visibility is still okay. We're working our way through town right now, trying to see if we can get ahead of this. But we've got some winds from 25 to 30 miles an hour, and just pretty like I said, the winds picked up pretty good.
So far, not too bad. Thanks, Al. Appreciate it. And so that's coming in on around the Jinx Glenpool areas. At this point, let's go back to radar, and you can see the heavy rain, and also moving from Tulsa Hills Highway 75, where Allen was located, just near the Glenpool area. And then we have what's going on down here in Okmulgee. So this leading edge is fairly potent right now, and there's a little bit of concern right now east of Preston. So there's some strong winds at this point just to the east of Preston. That's continuing to move east. Let's zoom in on this for just a second if we could. Stacia, I'll have you do an updated storm track if you would after that. So what we're looking at this particular moment is as you look at this is an area where you could have some winds of 60 miles an hour or more. That's on Bald Hill Road and near 3990 Road. So if you're around Bald Hill Road to Highway 16, and that's getting close to State Highway 52, we do want you to be aware that there could be some wind damage with this. Can we take one more velocity look too while we're in here? And so what we have, so right in here, so this is showing a pretty good indication of some very strong wind. And so this should be some scary looking clouds right in here as well. So this is starting to show a little bit more signs of maybe a little bit of circulation feature as well. So there's a little bit of a area of concern right in here. So just east of Preston, and again, Highway 52, just not too far from Bald Hill, southwest of Bald Hill on the Bald Hill Road, and that extends now to North 270 Road. So if you're around North 270 Road right in here, that would be what we're watching. So you might be careful right now, just in this area, because of the winds are going to be pretty strong. Circulation feature isn't that strong, but there is a circulation feature starting to show up here. Stacia, what do you have for us as far as storm track for Okmulgee County?
All right, Trav, so this is again moving 60 miles per hour to the east-northeast. So this is in Okmulgee now, headed off to the east towards Boynton, to Haskell, to Taft, eventually Muskogee. This will be in Haskell and Boynton, along with Jamesville, by 12:45. Coweta close to about 12:47 in Bixby now. So again, the strong winds, and you kind of see that jagged look to it. So there could be, again, some really strong winds coming out of this, especially we have those bowing segments. Wainwright at 12:50, Taft by 12:52, Porter also right after 12:50. Rentisville, Shakota, and Summit all right before 1 o'clock. Trav.
All right, and we're still watching that area northeast of Okmulgee and just to the east of Preston. That'll be north of Morris. So there is a little bit of a concern just in there for strong winds at this point. We don't have tornado, but it is some strong winds right in here. So that is going to be the leading edge of it, and there's strong winds, Stacia just mentioned, right along. In fact, what did you say, 60-mile-an-hour movement on
Yes.
this storm? So again, this is flying to the east right now. So if you are along this, there's a good chance just the storm movement alone is severe, pretty much. And if that's pretty much transitioning back down to the surface, which we do believe it could be, there should be some 60-mile-an-hour gusts easy along this leading edge of this. And that's bulging out now, moving into Morris as we speak. So again, very heavy rain, thunderstorm activity with that. Sequoia's gotten ahead of it a little bit, it looks like. He's just near I-40. And then also a little hail core, looks like it's trying to show up around Dustin. And kind of getting to be a bigger hail core near Dustin at this point. So again, hail in a few of these areas are going to be, especially if we have some 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, and golf ball size hail is pretty ugly. So that would cause a lot of damage. So just be advised. Let's go back to Sequoia right now, get an update from Sequoia. What do you have for us along 40 there? What are the winds? What's happening?
Right now, the winds are basically kind of all over the place. I'm pulling off here on Tiger Mountain Road so I can get my bearings and see what is actually happening. I've kind of got out in front of it just a little bit. So it's, well, it's windy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's definitely has sped up since we first got on it. Back to you, Travis.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. All right, let's go back and take a quick look at. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This will be an extension of this line now that will continue for about another hour. So right now our time is 12:36, almost 12:37. This new severe thunderstorm warning will continue till 1:15 a.m. And that is going to be for winds. It's moving northeast now. Boy, Station, I just looked, and so now it's showing that is moving at about 70 miles per hour. So that has enhanced greatly. So we could have 60-mile-an-hour winds near surface, and that is why the polygon is so large right now. So this is the whole line of thunderstorms right in here, bowing in several areas. So this is pushing rapidly to the east, and so we do anticipate that there could be some damaged power outages. Remember, you can stream, and we're streaming live right now, so you can stream on that. And then the warning continues as well for now Wagner County, and then that goes all the way into eastern Rogers County and also into Mays County. So we're going to catch eastern Tulsa with that. So let's go up to the north and see where Bob is located. Bob has sunk south a little bit. He's right along the boundary though, so we've got to Aaron, make sure Bob doesn't get too far south because of that boundary still there. But you can see what's going on. Hey, we'll talk. Is Bob able to talk right now? Hey, Bob, can you give us an update from near Collinsville? What are you getting any strong winds in advance of that? What do you have?
Yeah, we're still getting winds from the south. I just had 35, 40-mile-an-hour gusts as the system moved in. Appears that cold front's sagging a little faster right now. Back to our north, but the temperature due to the rain has dropped about 7 or 8 degrees in the last 15 minutes up here between Skiatook and Collinsville. And we're in moderate rain right now as I'm coming into Collinsville. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thank you, Bob. Bob's covering that north side where just a few of those cells could still produce some hail. That's why we want you to be very much aware of what's cooking there. Radar is showing that is bulging outward, but we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning on the north side. So Owasso, Collinsville, we're doing pretty good right now. To the south, this is where the storm really picks up once we get to near Tulsa International Airport, Highway 11 on the north side, and then we start getting heavy rain. We're getting gusty winds here. And so you can see that leading edge. This is pretty much the gusty wind area, where winds could be 40, maybe up to 50 miles an hour or more. That extends now east of Jinx, so we're crossing the river and has already passed through Glenpool area, and then that will continue to move to the east. So gusty winds coming in for you guys in Broken Arrow, also around Catoosa. So these are areas that will be affected by that. Brandon's up to the north, I think. Where is Brandon there? I see Brandon. Okay, Brandon, update from you. Looks like you're coming in on Catoosa. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis. Well, right now, like I said, we're just to the west of Catoosa here on 244. We just got out of the heavy rain. We're getting back out ahead of this main line. We're going to get out ahead of it and look back to the west and see what's along the leading edge of this, as it looks like it's starting to get a little bit more solid as it moves east. We'll stay with it. Back to you.
Yeah, it really is. Long Highway 16, we're going to come back to you guys here in just a minute because that's still looking pretty potent. We do want to, let's go talk to Vaughn. Vaughn's along leading edge too. Vaughn, update from you. What do you have for us?
I just now got on ahead of it. I'm on the Muskogee Turnpike now. Probably going to get off on Highway 51 as this thing is accelerating to the northeast. So I'm going to head over right there at Highway 51 and the Muskogee Turnpike. We'll wait on a little bit and then follow it over to Wagner. So, but a lot of lightning on that front edge of it. Looking back at it, it looks pretty ominous. But yeah, a lot of heavy rain in there and a lot of strong winds too. So
all right.
We're going to keep following. Back to you.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And then Alan's pretty much in some of that at this point. See, Alan's near Bixby now. Alan, update. What do you have? Alan, you there? Go ahead.
Yep, you got me?
Yeah, now I do. Go ahead.
All right, 151st Street, just west of Memorial, just driving through Bixby right now. Heading out towards the Muskogee route. We do have heavy rains, strong winds, 20, 25 miles an hour. Ran through a little bit of small tree debris across the roadway where the storm had pushed through right before we passed through here, but nothing significant. Back to you.
Okay. So a lot of the Tulsa area, go back to radar for a moment if you would. And so you see, Aaron?
I will say there is kind of an area of interest just northeast of Okmulgee there.
Yeah,
the
that's the Morris one. We're heading down here. So right now, thank you. This is the one that is most concerning, Highway 16. Let's get in on city street level here and look at this. So this is continuing to enhance. If you're Bald Hill, go ahead and take some precautions just to be on the safe side, and east of Bald Hill right now. That continues to get more concerning with this. We saw that just a little bit ago when it was back to the west about 3 or 4 miles. So now that is now situated pretty much in the Bald Hill area. And so this is a circulation feature that's in a notch area. Thanks, Aaron, for making us get down here faster. This is going toward the Midway area and to the east-northeast station. You have a storm track on that particular cell. I'll give you a second here to fix that. But if you're in this area off to the east, so you can see Happy Camp Road and then Grimes Road, and then that extends back on to the east toward the Midway area and eventually toward the Haskell area, Jamesville area. We do want you to be very careful here because this is now showing up. And if I could, wind shear when you get a chance to right in here. We'll take a look and see if we're starting to see a little bit of S. Not quite yet, but it's getting close. So this is circulating right now at this point. And Aaron, did you have something else? Did you see something else?
One of our traffic cameras up here is shaking really intensely.
Okay.
I can't quite make out which one that is. It's the one that's straight here ahead of me.
Okay.
It's a little different location.
That's a BA 169 right now. Oh, yeah. Can the control room take that? Station's going to do a storm track for us in a minute. Traffic 1. That's okay, Station. There it is. Okay. Yeah. So it's moving. When it's moving like that, you got some 50-mile-an-hour winds or more. This is on the east side of town. So this is increasing as it's moving east. That's the Broken Arrow Expressway. And so we're getting some really strong winds on that. Stacia, you want to go ahead and give us the one down Bald Hill?
Yep, so this is going to move to the northeast at about 60. So that puts it in Midway here soon. Want you to take your precautions in Midway just to be on the safe side, because even if you don't have a tornado on the ground, this is still strong, damaging winds here. Haskell, that's coming up by 12:53. Taft also 1 o'clock, along with Spring Hill, Coweta, and Clarksville, along with Porter at 1 o'clock as well. Now Muskogee, heads up for you guys. This should stay on the north side of Muskogee. So really, those more in line for this is going to be Porter, Clarksville, Wagner, and OK. So for Wagner, that's going to be coming up here and then about the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes for the western side of Fort Gibson Lake. That's also going to include folks around the Choteau, Cedar Crest, Holbert area in the track if it does end up more east than northeast, but especially Midway, Haskell, Porter, all in line here soon.
All right, and just got a report out of the northeast sides of Okmulgee of power outages. So that could be associated with the leading edge of this. And so again, that's a circulation feature that Stacia's just talking about. So we're very concerned about what's going on here, because this is very typical of what will happen along these leading edges. And so that's more than likely going to cause some serious wind damage, some power outages. Remember to be streaming, so that will help. But again, some power outages being reported just north and east of Okmulgee already. And okay. And so if you're in a tornado type of scenario, like right now, we're just borderline, but it would be some strong damaging winds. That's why we want you to be careful in that particular situation. Let's go to T5 if you've got it then. Stacia, we'll do Stacia. You want to do T5 for us and get it for us. And so this is looking downtown right now. The line of thunderstorms has just moved through. Downtown is moving off to the east a little bit, and so that's this is looking basically west-southwest. So the storm's back to the east a tad bit, but we're getting some pretty spectacular lightning. Stacia, could you do T6 for a second? And then we're going to go back down south to Okmulgee. So this is a live look from our First Oklahoma Bank building in Jenks, and then that's the thunderstorm coming across the Tulsa, east side of Tulsa, Broken Arrow area. All right, let's go back to radar and get back down to down into areas of central eastern Okmulgee County with the latest of what's going on. There's that notch. You see heavy thunderstorms still showing up all the way down to the south toward Henrietta. Sequoia is in advance of it, but let's go to the notch and take a look again at what's happening right in here. So this is now from the Bald Hill area, now moving to the east. So this is pulling it around pretty much. So that's getting inflow in there and then back around to the east, to the northeast. So if you're in that area, and let's do some shear and a couple of other data products to help folks see what's going on. So the strong winds continue, and so that's the latest look at what's happening in Bald Hill. You'll be getting some 60-mile-an-hour winds, potentially stronger winds in this zone, and that has moved up toward Haskell now. So we do have that extending to the east from Bald Hill, now just south and west of Haskell. So some strong winds evident in that. Let's go to also, let's take a look at storm relative real quick on that and get some more information on that. So this is, again, some of the data from just a little bit ago. And that is tracking off to the east-northeast. Stacia, you can get us a storm track if you would.
Yes, it's ready, and it does look like they have power lines down at Highway 52 and Gun Club Road there in Okmulgee County, if folks are familiar with that. So it looks like to me that the track has slowed down a little bit on that area of rotation. I've now measured it about 50 miles per hour, so this still includes Haskell and Stone Bluff and Coweta to Wagner. So this is going to be putting it in Midway here at 12:50. That's about 3 more minutes. So again, Midway, it's just on the southwest side of town, still out by Bald Hill, but tracking up to the northeast. Haskell by 12:57. Porter, that's coming up at 1:08. Tallahassee 1:12. Gibson and OK by 1:20. So again, watching the circulation north of Morris. This is up towards Bald Hill on State Highway 16, a couple miles now west of Midway. So for folks in Midway, you're waking up now. We do want you to get in the centermost part of your home, because whether there's a tornado on the ground or not, this could be 60, 70 miles mile-per-hour winds coming in. So again, the track, it seems to me on that rotation has slowed down a little bit, but we still want to be really cautious in Haskell and Stone Bluff to Spring Hill. Haskell coming up at 12:57, Yahola by 1 o'clock, Coweta also right about 1:06. You see Von Castor here, he's on the Muskogee Turnpike. He's getting situated to intercept this storm as it comes into western parts of Muskogee County and then eventually up into Wagner County. Trav.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate the update. And again, if you're in these areas, just be advised because of the strong winds that are right in here, and that's moving to the east right at this moment. Hey, Vaughn, if you're with me, can you give us a quick update on what you have and what you're seeing as you look back into this cell? Vaughn, where are you? You there?
Yeah, I'm right here,
Okay.
Travis. I couldn't tell who you were talking to. So,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I'm looking southwest. I'm on Highway 51 right here at the Muskogee Turnpike. I can see we're going to call it a shelf cloud, I would imagine. But looking back that way, I cannot see anything. I heard one of the chasers mention he saw a wall cloud or something pretty low. I'm not sure who that was, Travis, but looking back, I cannot see anything on the ground. But I don't know if I'm close enough. So we're going to wait till it kind of gets up on me, and we'll get a better look at it.
Okay, yeah, that's good because that's just kind of an area that is concerning. So it seems like it's just hanging in there. Aaron, did you have something?
I was just going to expand on what Vaughn was saying. That was Sequoia that was saying that he had some lowering in his area
to
down
the south
towards
of there.
I-40. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. So again, from Vaughn's shot, you can see what it looks like as it's approaching. A lot of lightning associated with that, and that is a lot of wind, some of those areas. Let's go back to radar, get another update. We're going to go down city street levels. And so Highway 16, as we said, now it's past 52, and that's continuing to move to the east. So this is where the strongest winds are going to be located, and this will continue to track to the east-northeast. So moving toward Midway area. Let's put that in loop if we could for a second there so folks can see what we've been seeing here for a few minutes and with our updates. As this has been moving to the northeast, we're talking about this cell continuing to track that will take it and it just came out north side of Okmulgee and now is pushing there. So this is pretty much the strongest winds that have been associated with that. You can see that that's tracking. So that's headed right into the Haskell area at this point. Looks like we're going to issue a severe thunderstorm watch now in place of the tornado watch because we're approaching the 1 o'clock hour. Is that what I'm seeing right now, Stacia? It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like
I
it.
think we're just getting ready. Okay. So that's leading edge of that. So this will be the one thing we have to watch, kind of a thorn in the side. That will be moving to the east. So if you're around Haskell, Porter areas, Stacia's showing us, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Back to radar for a moment, and we'll get some of our guys to look at what's happening. Alan won't be able to see that because of the mountain right in here, so he'll have to get down closer to Haskell, but he'll intercept that fairly easily. Once he gets there, it's going to be almost on him. But that'll give us a pretty good indication. Around the metro area at this particular moment, we'll come back into Tulsa. Again, moderate to heavy rains coming in on Broken Arrow. And so we just had those strong winds on 169 about right in here that we were showing you with our camera jumping around. And so that's continuing to track to the east. So let's do wind shear if we could and see if we can see that that shows. Yeah, just barely shows up. And it's stronger winds right now, 169 right in here. We have Brandon way ahead of it at this point. So he's just well ahead of it. Bob's kind of long, just near it, Highway 20. Hey, Bob, quick update from you. It looks like you might be ahead of that outflow boundary, are you?
Yeah, I'm real close to it. I was mentioning a minute ago to Aaron, I've dropped to 59 degrees up here in Owasso, but a lot of that has to do with that outflow and the heavy rain that we're getting. And I'm coming up to the Keatonville Hill right now, eastbound on Highway 20. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. And again, if you're on the north side of Tulsa, you're not doing too bad. Bartlesville, you're doing okay. No major problems there. And then we'll go back south again. We'll take a look at what's happening. So that's the heaviest rain. So we'll talk to Brandon in a minute. He's kind of in advance of the heavy rains. And then we have what's happening at Jinx. Let's go a little bit further south there and around Bixby and back south. Stacia, do you have a new storm track for us?
Not yet. I'll get you in a second.
Okay. With that, that bulging area there. Alan, I don't know. Can Alan talk to us for a second? Alan, what do you have for us?
Travis, we're still in the heavy heavy rains. We probably had 40, 45 mile an hour winds coming across. We got debris on the ground right now, just a bunch of leaf and small sticks. But you can tell we've had the good bulk of wind coming through. We're trying to catch up to this spot right over there in Haskell that you guys have been looking at. We've come around the corner from the mountain, so we've got to kind of keep our eyes on the sky and see if we can find any kind of identifiable features.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Holler at us when you do. I'm sure you will, and Aaron will hear about it. And then that cell coverage right around the hill there is a little bit rough, but so you can see what's going on now. So Alan's coming around. And then back to the south a little bit here. We'll look at what's happening. Here's the leading edge of both of those. So this is again on 16, east of 16 now. Let's go, Stacia, I'm gonna have you do a new storm track here if you've got it.
So along this track, I'm going to do the whole leading edge. So again, this is strong winds here, severe thunderstorms from southeastern Tulsa County, Bixby in the thick of things right now, Broken Arrow about to be, and then that'll extend down into eastern Okmulgee County, western McIntosh here very soon. You're going to have to be dealing with this. But folks around Haskell, Coweta, Broken Arrow, Choteau, Wagner, and even Muskogee, you're going to get hit with the 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Wagner 122, Pryor by 130, Trav, Adair by also 130.
All right, hey, thanks so much. Aaron just told me Vaughn. Let's go to Vaughn and then we'll go to Brandon. Vaughn, what do you have? Do you have that shot for us now of what's going on with that?
Yes. Yeah, right on the right side of that one-way sign. As soon as we get some lightning, it's a very pronounced lowering right there in the front. Looks like it has some, chaotic movement to it from this angle. I'm looking due south into Porter. Porter is due south of me right here off of 51. So that is that area that has been coming on up all the way from Bald Hill through Haskell. So lightning has seemed to decrease a little bit since I got here. So we're going to keep watching this area as it moves. I guess it's moving kind of towards Wagner, right?
And so, yeah, that's headed right across that area right now. And so that's what we're watching at this particular moment. So what we'll do, and then let's go to Brandon. Thanks, Vaughn. Let's go to Brandon. What do you have, Brandon?
Yeah, Travis, well, we're here along 412, just to the west of South 305 East Avenue. And just before you came to us, it's now moved over the top of us. But we had a well-defined lowering, probably more in the way of scary-looking clouds at this time. We didn't see any motion with it. It was real hard to detect. Now we're getting ready to get hit and slammed with the heavy rain. And let's see what our winds. We're getting about 30 to 35 mile an hour winds now out of the due west. And we're going to continue to move east on 412 because we need to be able to see what that area of lowering may be doing, Travis. Right now, we just got hit with 50 mile an hour winds. 50 mile an hour winds, Travis.
Are they right there? Okay. That's what I was wondering because with that strong winds, we're going to stick with you for just a second. There could be a little bit of a hail core showing up on that, and we're wondering what's happening. So, again, if you're east of Broken Arrow, most of the Tulsa area is okay right now. But, again, if you're east side of Broken Arrow, Wagner County, and then extending into western Muskogee County. We want you guys to be advised for what's happening at this particular moment. Still, that circulation is east of Haskell right now and extending to near Taft, and then also down around the Oktaha area. Let's go further south and let's talk to Sequoia for a minute. Sequoia, I know you have something going on as well along 40, just north and west of Oktaha. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to maneuver. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Got a lowering coming into Chicago. Oh, sorry, I dropped my phone. Yeah, there's a lowering coming into Dakota right now. I'm not sure, like Brandon said, if it's just something scary looking, but it's definitely right in the middle of my frame. Okay. If the lightning will cooperate with us, Travis, there you go. If you can see that right there.
Right. Okay. Hang on. Just keep it there for just a minute. We'll continue to look at it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So it's.
It's back up in there.
Okay.
If you can see it, it's definitely scary looking. It's defined very well, and it's in the right place. So, people really need to take this seriously and take our
Yep.
severe storm precautions.
All right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. We're also going to go back north now to Bob. And Bob, if you would, Claremore, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for areas around Nowata and then extending into the northern portions of Craig, or I shouldn't say Craig, but into the northern portions of Rogers County and then also into Craig County. Can you give us an update on what you have for us right now?
Yeah, right now I'm on the leading edge of it coming in on the west side of Claremore. In fact, I've got a little bit ahead of the heavy rain. So Claremore, you're probably going to be experiencing some wind. I was registering about 25, 35 back there on Highway 20 in Owasso with occasional gusts over 40. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that. So as we look at what's happening with the storms and as they start to continue to move off to the east, we're continuing to monitor with some of the storms, some of the more intense parts of them. So now they're mainly east of Tulsa. So if you are in areas, and I want to show the severe thunderstorm watch thing too, Stacia, if we can. Is that on links 2 right now? It's okay. There it is. Okay. So this is a new look at what's going on. So we don't want to scare people about tornadoes too much, but those strong areas of wind and circulation are enough to cause some problems. And so that's why we're going to continue to monitor what's going on. So we have 2 active warnings right now, so you can see this a little bit easier. The one that we're moving out of the tornado watch, and now National Weather Service, or Storm Prediction Center more so, has put out a severe thunderstorm watch for eastern Oklahoma. So that is a blessing compared to what we were thinking. There's still a chance of hail and strong winds for some folks, especially if you're east of Tulsa. And so this line now with severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Nowata, also Craig County, extending into northern and eastern portions of pretty much into, I would say, the eastern half of Rogers County, and then through Mays County, back through Wagner County, most of Muskogee County and northwestern McIntosh County. So what we're seeing right now at that leading edge is heavy rain and thunderstorm activity. So if we can take a look at the radar at this second and show you the bigger picture of what's going on. This is where the line of thunderstorms are located from the north side. So this is going to take us from right around Copan area and then extending back down to around Nowata at this moment. So this is heavy rainfall, gusty winds associated with this. And then that extends back down to around the Jamestown area. And then that also extends, and then it kind of weakens a little bit. It's gone through Oologah, but there's going to be winds of 50, 60 miles an hour. A lot of that has to do with the speed of the storm itself. We're not having quite as much hail as anticipated, but still we have severe thunderstorms. Now it's moving in on around the Inola area, from Verdigris to Inola, and then back down already through Porter. So that rotating area is somewhat gone, but it's still going to have to watch what's going on around the Wagner area. And then back to the south, here's a Boynton area to around Summit, and then down from around Muskogee. So that's coming into Muskogee as we speak at this time. Then down around Shakota, and that's where Sequoia has been talking about the storms, and that's kind of the south end of the severe weather at this particular moment. So as we watch what's happening with these storms, we're watching for the potential for hail and also for strong damaging winds. There's some rain that's coming in behind it, but it's not quite as bad, you could say. But we do have at this moment some of the stronger wind indications coming in right now around Summit, Oktaha areas, and then just to the west of Muskogee. Here's what we were talking about with that storm that passed through Haskell and now near Tallahassee. We just have a little bit southeast of Porter. Not too bad at this particular moment. Let's go to Vaughn for an update. Vaughn, if you would, can you give me an update on what you're into right now, what you're seeing, and what the winds are doing?
Stay ahead of this thing because it is moving it on. Every time I stop, it catches me within about 30 seconds. So
wow. Very
heavy rain, strong winds, 60-plus mile-an-hour winds. Just blowing and going. So we're going to try to get to Wagner, and we're going to take a look to the southwest because it should be coming through maybe the just south part of Wagner. We'll be in great shape to get a look at it.
All right. Hey, I appreciate that very much. And pretty much I've lost track where Alan is. Where's Alan right now? Is he past?
He's moving towards Muskogee at the moment.
Hey, Alan, did you have any strong winds associated with that when you ran through it? Did you go through Haskell when that was coming through?
Oh, yeah, Haskell seemed to be good, but just when we got a little bit further south of there, we're about to make the turn towards Muskogee now. We got hit with I'd say a good 40, 45 mile an hour winds easily. Very small hail we ran into, but it's so I guess we're stuck in about 30, 40 mile an hour winds right now. We're about to head towards Muskogee, see what we can find.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. So far, so good. So, I mean, it's not perfect because obviously we had some wind damage in northern Okmulgee County and power outages there. So we are dealing with some of that. At this point, though, you can see it's rain, it's lightning, it's wind, it's spring. So these are the storms. Thankfully, again, we don't have a ton of circulation issues, but we are looking at some strong winds that should be coming in on Wagner very shortly. And then also around Inola, we have strong winds. So there's quite a bit of wind associated with this as this is accelerating and moving northeastward with time. So here's a look at the radar again for an update where we have the heaviest rain. So that goes now just west of Wagner. Then that extends on up to around Claremore. And again, these are severe thunderstorm warnings. And then up around Nowata right now, heavy rain. No tornado warnings, so that is welcome news. Just wind, 50, 60 miles an hour. And so I'm not going to say we're okay, but it doesn't look too awfully bad compared to what it looked like about 5 to 6 hours ago, because we were all getting pretty ramped up on a lot of our guidance was showing us that we were going to get into some serious bad weather. And for those of you who suffer with a little bit of tornado stress, we're pretty good. So we're going to bring that down. Don't worry as much because it's not, we don't feel it's going to be that intense. But not to say we couldn't have some wind damage, we couldn't have some other issues associated with that. So this is the leading edge of it now. So we're in Nowata County. So that's coming in from Lenapaw to Delaware, now into Nowata, and then that moves now down to right around Bushy Head Foil area. And then it curves back a little bit right into Claremore, as you can see. And then it's right over our radar site. And so that's near Inola. So that's coming in right over the radar as we speak. So there's going to be winds of 50, 60 miles an hour with this. So it's going to rattle your house. And if you're just waking up now, we're in continuous coverage here on Channel 6 just to make sure these storms don't get any more carried away without you knowing what's going on. So this curve right in here, again, is some strong winds south of Inola coming up on 69. So it's just about ready to get into Wagner at this moment. And looking, I see Vaughn, you in Wagner right now?
I am, yes. I'm on the south side of Wagner.
What are you seeing?
Looking to my southwest.
Yeah.
So let me get some lightning. There's not as much lightning as you would think they're out today. So it's a little bit difficult getting a viewing, but I'm getting ready to turn around and get a shot here. So hold on just a second there.
We can. Because we're more concerned about what's coming in on Wagner at this moment. That seems to be a little bit more of the strongest part of the storm. There should be some 60-mile-an-hour winds coming in on you.
Yeah, they're pretty. I've witnessed them all the way from, right there at the Turnpike and 51, and they are strong. I had my passenger window down, and it blew rain all over the inside of my windshield, so I've got visibility problems here. But anyway, that's how hard it's blowing. It's blowing it sideways, and so it's just now coming in the south side. I'm going to try to get back up here ahead of it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning popped up behind this line. It's up in Osage County right now. Let's go back to radar, and we're going to go up into Osage County and take a look at what's going on. This is a severe thunderstorm, and that is in central and western portions of Osage County. That will be a severe thunderstorm warning until 1:45 this morning. We are sitting at 1:06, almost 1:07 a.m. And again, that will go till 1:45 for 60-mile-an-hour winds. And with that, that's moving east at about 45 miles per hour. Not a lot of hail in this one at this particular moment. But it's enough that it could cause you some problems. So we'll take the rain, but that's running from Scheidler at this point, and then that curves back down to just west of Pawhuska, and then comes down to around Hominy. So the National Weather Service has issued severe thunderstorm warning for a big chunk of Osage County. So Stacia, as we're looking at what's happening right now, what do you have as far as any reports? Have you had any power outage reports yet that we know of other than just what we reported on the northern side of Okmulgee County?
So far, it's just that northern side of Okmulgee County. So the power lines that were down were right around Highway 52 and Gun Club Road. So again, they're going to check that out. PSO apparently is on the scene of that. And so that's really the only areas now that we know of with power outages. But it does take a little bit of time for some of those power outages to come into the websites to alert us. But that is one specific area that we know of tonight that's without power and possibly some wind damage down there. And of course, as the storms continue east, there may be more areas tonight that have to deal with some wind damage.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. We're still continuing with our severe thunderstorm for Craig County, northeastern Rogers, parts of Washington County. That's pretty much moving out of Washington County now. And Nowata County, that's going until 1:45. That's for 60-mile-an-hour winds and some hail, quarter-size hail, with this line. So again, we have two of them kind of back to back. So this is Osage County, Tulsa's right down in here. So all the severe weather, I say all of it, obviously there's something still to the north and west, but most all the severe weather is out of Tulsa now and further to the east. So this is the leading edge of this. So this is getting ready to move over into Craig County right now. Heaviest of the rain and thunderstorm activity now from near Lenapaw in Delaware, already in Nowata and near New Alloy. So that's moving pretty quick to the northeast. So we said that there's what did we say on speeds on this? Was that 55, 60 on this north side?
Let me check the north side here.
Okay.
They did have a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust out of Burbank.
Oh, did
from
they?
the Osage
From that.
County storms.
So that's why they triggered the severe thunderstorm warning. That makes sense. And so any of these storms could produce 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds. And as Stacia just mentioned, power outages have been very limited. So that is good news. But they are moving, and you can see that jump. What did you find?
Vector on the northern ones is 45.
45?
Northeast
Okay.
at 45.
Still pretty impressive with what's going on. Where's Bob right now? I've lost Bob.
Bob's Claremore.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, if you're in Claremore, can you give me an update on what's going on at Claremore? I know we're looking to the north at that line of storms. What do you have for us in Claremore?
I'm getting on the I-44 Will Rogers Turnpike on the east side of Claremore. Got torrential rain. There is an occasional pea-sized hail that I just encountered. Not much at all, but there was a little bit of it. And winds are about 25, 35 right now, blowing the rain pretty good. Back to you, Travis.
All right. I tell you what, I'm pretty much a happy camper right now. Station Aaron, I think, are as well. That we do not have anything else quite that intense. So there is some good news. So we're going to be happy about that. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that report. As he's getting by the turnpike, still a lot of rain. And as we said, rain is good, especially since we've gone 24 days, I think, without measurable precipitation for some of us. We're nothing compared to Enid. What was it, 130, 135? I don't know where we're at up there, but it's just frustrating. And you can see the heaviest rains now in Claremore and just to the east. And then that's over, as I said, this is the radar, the donut hole, the radar site. And so now the leading edge is now over Wagner. Vaughn's just gone through that. Vaughn, can you give me an update on what it was like getting into those thunderstorms? What do you have?
Yeah, I had a 49-mile-an-hour gust on the south side of Wagner, and I'm getting a little bit of hail. Not very much, just sporadically getting some hail. But if it's got any size to it, 50-mile-an-hour winds will blow that plumb-proof windows if it's big enough. So, yeah, still got to watch it as it moves toward California.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. National Weather Service now issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. So that's going to encompass a big chunk of territory again. That's going to be southeastern Craig County up to the north of Tulsa, central Rogers County, western Delaware, southwestern Ottawa, all the way up to Miami. Good grief. North central McIntosh County, Mays County, Wagner County, Cherokee County, northern Muskogee County. That'll be for winds to 60 miles an hour. And also some small hail is possible with these cells. So if you are in this area, penny-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Stacia, what do you have movement on that particular line of thunderstorms?
Looks like about 55 to 60.
Okay. So that's going to continue to track to the northeast. If you're around Pensacola, Veneta, if you're following us around Cherokee State Park, Summit, Fort Gibson, OK, Strang, Hoot Owl, and Cleora, Choteau, Scraper, Cleota, Xena, Leech, Big Cabin, also Locust Grove, Maisie, and Inola and Jay. Those are some of the communities that will be in line with this line of thunderstorms as it moves to the northeast at 55 to 60 miles an hour. Wow, those are flying. They're not going to stick around too long, but you get the idea of how big of an area that we're talking about in here. And then also, as the radar, do you have an update?
Brandon just received a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust at his location.
Okay, where is Brandon? He's in Choteau?
Yep.
Okay, Brandon's in Choteau. Brandon, update from you, if you would, besides the 60-mile-an-hour winds. You getting very heavy rain or not?
Yeah, Travis, the rain is being blown sideways, just like Vaughn had mentioned earlier. We're getting 60-mile-an-hour winds here along 412. We're just about to cross Highway 69. And horizontal rain. The lightning is slacked off, which is surprising. I think these winds are just so strong because these storms are moving very fast, Travis. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, they are. They are flying, and it's not too often. I mean, spring is the most likely time to have 60-mile-an-hour movement of storms. For a while, I think Stacia was mentioning 65-mile-per-hour movement. That's as fast as you drive with a car, and so that usually doesn't happen. Most of the severe storms are anywhere from about 30. Sometimes we'll get up to 40 or 45, but not too often do we get them really flying through. Usually, though, in the spring, if we're going to get a fast-moving storm, it's this time of year. It's propelled a lot by the jet stream and a lot of the winds in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. Let's go back temperature map for a second, Stacia. I just want to point this out as well. Your Sunday is going to be kind of interesting because it is going to be colder. And I mean, these temperatures continue to drop. Pawnee's now at 51, 57 in Bartlesville. Now we were at 72, I think, in Tulsa. We're down to 64, 59 in Okmulgee. And then if you're in advance of that line, you're around 70. So, and it's going to be cold. Aaron, what'd you go for a high temperature? I forgot. Was it 60? What?
That's earlier in the day. I mean, it should drop into the... That was kind of earlier in the day. It should drop into the 50s at some point during the afternoon.
It's going to be 50s this morning, and maybe we'll rebound for a little bit. But it's going to be a cold start to get you going on your Sunday. And so, again, that's a look at what's going on. It's going to be colder. Back to radar for a moment, and we'll show you that line of thunderstorms. We can start up north and work our way back. Stacia, if you could get the radar. Okay, so this is we're going to start up north here and look at what's happening. So this is southern Kansas, so around Coffeyville. You guys are not in a severe thunderstorm warning area if you're waking up right now and say, hey, there's thunder. They're talking about severe weather. We have been very, I don't want to say fortunate, but we've been lucky. We've been okay to the north. Really thought that this was going to be more of a southeast Kansas, northern Oklahoma thing. And so far, it has not been as much for you guys. So you're not having to worry quite as much. Yes, we have severe thunderstorm warnings, but we were thinking there was probably a pretty high probability of some tornadoes in that zone from just northwest of Tulsa back to near and west of Oklahoma City. And knock on wood, that hasn't happened. So heavy rains right now have moved through Lenapaw and also well through Nowata. So there, that storm, in fact, after it moved through Nowata, it's starting to break up a little bit as it's trying to head towards Centralia. South a little bit further, we continue with warnings showing up in a few areas, and the thunderstorms are still strong. And as Brandon mentioned, we have, that's kind of interesting too, where Bob is located. Hey, Bob, if you would, just give us an update on your location. Are you getting any strong winds right now out of the, I'd say out of the south or west at this point?
No. The winds right now, at least where I'm at up here on the Will Rogers Turnpike, are coming out of the west-northwest. Probably about 35 miles an hour.
Okay. All right. That's what I was wondering, because there's just a little bit of a circulation type of thing going on there. So we just have to keep our eyes peeled on some of those things, just make sure they're not going to get too carried away. All right. I appreciate it. And so there should be some gusty winds associated with that as that's moving through. So that's just going to be close by. All right. Thanks. Appreciate that. So Bob's not too far away from that. And then you can see a hail core right now from just east of Justice, east of Claremore near Harmony Star, and then west of Pryor. So that's a heavy thunderstorm at this particular moment with some hail associated with it. And then down around, so now the storms have made it to Pryor and then down to Choteau at this particular moment. And so that leading edge is just right now. Brandon's really close to it. Hey, Brandon, if you're available, wouldn't mind getting an update from you, even though you're staying ahead of it. Do you have any strong winds, or what's it look like to you?
Well, Travis, about 5 minutes ago when we were in the heaviest portion of that line, it seems like the winds are a little bit behind the line, buried in the rain. We got about 55 in gusts near 60. I mean, it was enough to blow us sideways here along 412. We're going to get out ahead of this and try to get a shot to see what these scary-looking clouds are doing. And as soon as we do that, we'll let you know. Back to you.
Yeah, okay. All right. For a second, your video's kind of going in and out. I don't know what the deal is, but okay. Hey, thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it very much. And so that's a look at what's happening there. Back to radar and seeing that you can see where Brandon is located. So he's just east Choteau right now on 412. So it's kind of a rough area that goes from around the Murphy area, Pine Oaks, and then extending back to the south. So there should be a few scary-looking clouds right along that leading edge and 50-mile-an-hour winds or more for this area. And then back further to the south, this has already come over Fort Gibson Lake. So that quickly moved through Wagner. Vaughn's along the leading edge. Vaughn, if you have a second, can you give us an update on what you're seeing? Vaughn, hey, hang on one second.
The bridge right there, Taylor's Ferry.
Okay, hey, repeat what you said. We didn't have your mic on, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I just came across the bridge at Taylor's Ferry, headed headed east on 51. It's really difficult to catch up once you get in this heavy rain and the high winds. It's very difficult to catch back up. But I'm getting sporadic hail. I mean, so not very big, which is thankful. But yeah, we're gonna continue over towards Hulbert and see what it gives us. Back to you.
All right. You're just going over the lake right now, or getting ready to?
No, Travis, I've already crossed the lake.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I'm only about 5 miles from home. Yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, I do see it. Okay. Thanks. Had to zoom in a little bit there so I could see him. Bad eyes, apparently. All right. Let's come back to radar for a second and show you. So, again, there's Taylor Ferry, and then he's to the east, so he's almost to Hulbert here. So this is that leading edge. So far, it's good news. Nothing really too bad happening there. A little bit further south along this line, though, we continue to monitor. It hasn't been too awful bad. We are not getting too many wind reports down on the south side, but the winds are pretty strong in a few locations. But this is a look at what's going on. So that warning extends south of Muskogee, and you can see where it extends back with a warning that goes all the way through Cherokee, northern half of Cherokee County. And then that line, let's look at that line coming in out around Sapulpa, if you could. We don't have a severe, but I think there's some hail inside of that station right now.
There might be.
And so that's chunky. That's kind of some chunky areas of hail, and happening right now. So that's expanding eastward, coming into town, and we can take a look at that and see what that looks like. Again, tornado watch has been canceled, and so we have a severe thunderstorm watch. And then also, Stacia, can you give me quick update on that severe thunderstorm watch?
Yeah, so the severe thunderstorm watch, that will run until 7 o'clock in the morning. So we've now extended, the tornado watch is gone. Severe thunderstorm watch will now encompass our eastern counties over into Arkansas and southern Missouri. So this will be still through the overnight hours into early in the morning. And I would imagine too, because some of these storms that are coming in now from the west, as Trav pointed out by Sapulpa, down to Bristow, to Welty, there could be some hail and there could be some gusty winds. So you see this severe thunderstorm warning for Osage County. There were 60-mile-per-hour winds with some of those storms, and those are behind the really strong to severe storms off to the east. So you can still get some pretty intense thunderstorms even behind the main line. So that severe thunderstorm watch will stay with us until 7 o'clock. I did put a track on the storms that are severe warned from Mays County, Pryor, Adair down to Choteau, and into western Cherokee County. So where Vaughn is located, Brandon's located out by east of Choteau. So these storms are moving still east-northeast at about 55, 60 miles per hour. Latest track does take it through Salina here in the next about 3 to 4 minutes. For Rose, it'd be closer to 130, so that's about 10 minutes from now. Langley also about 132. Coming up for Veneta and Tahlequah, that's going to be around 135. Heavy rainfall, again, strong gusty winds, some hail cores also possible, especially up around Pryor. It looks like that may be one of the stronger parts of the storm right now. And again, the winds could be 60 miles per hour maybe a little stronger if it can intensify enough. But just southwest of Adair, there may be some hail right where Bob is located. So that would be northwest of Pryor, southwest of Adair, right along Highway 69. And then around Sportsman Acres to Locust Grove, that's some heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail, strong winds where Brandon is right on 412 for Locust Grove. To the south, now getting into western Cherokee County. So Vaughn is coming up to Holbert. He's right on the leading edge of this. He's still in the heavy rainfall, but the gusty winds, that's all headed towards Tahlequah. And for Tahlequah, that's coming up here about 135. These storms are moving northeast, so what comes into Tahlequah may actually be the cells that are south of Holbert. So that will extend down into then eastern parts of Muskogee County. Right now, Muskogee getting bombarded with very heavy rain, gusty winds right along the west side of Highway 10 there in eastern Muskogee County. That's the leading edge and extends down to where Sequoia is located. Sequoia is not in the severe thunderstorm warning right now, Trav, but he does have some rain just out to his west. But again, the severe thunderstorm warning, as Trav mentioned, includes Cherokee County. It includes the western parts of Delaware County, which right now is very quiet, but with how fast these storms are moving, that is going to change in the next 30 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Stacia. Greatly appreciate that. And I was just looking and checking out a couple of the folks that are responding to us on Facebook and all. Just wanted to say thanks for you guys following us on Facebook and, of course, on Channel 6. And anytime there is a problem with the storms, you can, of course, stream live from our News on 6 app. So if you don't have it, we'd love for you to get it. You can stream from our website and then from our app. If you have our app, you can do so many things. I'm not going to sit here and preach about it tonight, but I just want you to know it's like an awesome thing. And then you get warned with what you want to get warned with. You don't have to get warned with everything like a dust storm or somebody sneezes warning. You can have just tornadoes. You can have thunderstorms. You can have flooding. And so you can put that all together, and then you can also do it for your friends or family. So for my dad who's up in Nebraska, I do that. For my son who's near Salina, Kansas, I do that. And so that way I can kind of keep tracking like, hey, are you paying attention to the weather? So you can do that as well. Anyway, there's power outages starting to show up. All right, and you want to give us, do you have an update that you have?
I can do that real
Stacia
quick,
can
yes.
give us
So power outage numbers are coming in, and around Tulsa County, there's about 300 customers tonight without power, most likely due to these storms. A couple areas I'm going to point out by Prue, there's a hot pocket there just in southern Osage County. Quite a few outages. Then over in Prattville, Sand Springs, about 132 customers. More sporadic across the Tulsa, city of Tulsa, especially South Tulsa. There's about 169 customers. And then over in Broken Arrow, those numbers are coming up 30 now, but that may rise. So again, mostly Osage County and Tulsa County now, Trav, without power in a few locations.
Okay, hopefully they'll get it back soon. Severe thunderstorm warnings do continue in effect. Again, if you're on the east side of, pretty much east side of Tulsa, that's where most of the action is going on now. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning until 1:45 this morning, and that is going to be, again, for this line of storms. It's running from where Bob is located, Brandon, Vaughn, Allen, Sequoia on the south. So again, our guys are in the right spot thanks to Aaron helping out there. Bob, let's start with you, get an update. What do you have for us? What's going on?
Hey, Travis, I'm up at the Adair exit off the turnpike. We're getting about 35-mile-an-hour gusts up here right now, torrential rain. I just came through some of the pea-sized hail that Stacia was talking about a couple minutes ago, and mostly torrential rain on the turnpike. So back to you, Travis.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Thanks to all of our trackers out tonight. We really appreciate you guys getting hands-on descriptions of what's going on and along that leading edge as well, helping folks. So that's up around Adair area now. We do have, and these magenta color areas, especially when you get a little bit whiter and then it goes to black, that's when you usually have those hail cores. So this is like a pea size. He might have hit some of this right in there. So that's around Adair at this point, and then extending from Bushy Head, Foyle back to the east along the highway, and then extending now. It's going to be heading on over to Grand Lake here in just a little bit. So if you're in these areas, just be advised. Let's head on south a little bit and give you an idea. This line of storms is coming across Locust Grove, pretty potent right now. So this is from Salina and then back down through Locust Grove, Snake Creek area, and then that extends down to Peggs. Let's go up to Brandon first before we leave him, if we could, Stacia. And then we're going to take a look at what's going on along this leading edge. So this is just to the east of Locust Grove. Brandon, what do you have for us? What's happening?
Yeah, Travis.
Travis, well, we're here along Forts Wells, just to the east of Locust Grove, like you said. We're well ahead. Well, not well ahead of it. These storms are moving very, very quick, but we're out ahead of the leading edge. We're trying to get out ahead of it just so long enough we can turn around and get a shot of what this structure looks like. And we're right now rain free, and I'd say the winds into the storms are probably about 35, Travis.
All right, man, this is pretty darn good compared to where we've been. That's all I can say, where I thought we'd be. So not going to complain. Back to radar if you could, guys. And so when we look at the storm line that's still going on, so this is, again, he's right here, just right barely ahead. And then that extends back down around the Pegs area. So there's strong winds with this, not too bad. They'll be heading into Rose. And really, let's go south a little bit, and we'll look right along that. So Pegs, gusty winds, Lost City now, and then just east of Hulbert. Vaughn's in that area. Hey, Vaughn, update from east of Hulbert now. Do you have that for us?
Yes, sir. I'm about 5-6 miles east of Hulbert on 51. I momentarily got ahead of it, and it caught me again. But there was some very strong winds. I think those are now just to my north as I came through Hulbert and on the west side of Hulbert. They were very, very strong. I'm going to say 60. You can't get a good measurement as you're driving. So, yes, strong winds, heavy rain, and sporadic hail still. So it's still just doing the same thing it has for quite a while now, Travis.
All right. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And I have some friends over in Cherokee County that thank you as well. And they just sent me a text message to let you know. All right. So that's, again, heavy rains, gusty winds. Hopefully we can keep the power outages to a minimum. The problem is we're starting to get leaves. Anytime we start getting leaves, there's more kind of friction, basically, and that just adds to more flipping and flopping of trees, and then of course that interferes a lot of times with power lines, and then we get our power outages. All right, back to radar, please, and you can see our severe thunderstorm warning again. And so stations put a three-dimensional look to it, and so as we look at what's going on to the east and what's happening, she'll adjust that here in just a second, but you can see how that's arcing out now across areas. And so this is the leading edge of these storms. So we have some of those coming in on this west side around Sapulpa, so we should have some lightning and thunder with that. And then you can see the line of thunderstorms. In fact, if you can horizontal it just a little bit more. So there you go. And then this is where Vaughn is located right now. These storms, these are the ones that will be having some hail associated with it besides the strong winds. And so that's coming through the western sides of Cherokee County right now. And that's still an active warning. Again, as far as warnings go, this is the best kind of warning because it's kind of the minimal warning. We've had some a lot worse, but we're still not good because we could still have power outages and things happen that we don't want to have happen. We do see that this line of thunderstorms continues to show up across areas from just west of Welch and then extending just east of Coffeyville. So that warning goes now still to 145. And that is part of that cell that's going to continue to move into southeastern Kansas if it keeps going. So if you are in these areas, so that's near Coffeyville and then extending through Craig County, northern Craig County. Our storm out west in the Bartlesville storm, not overly impressive, just windy. So that's where the winds have been the strongest, 50, 60 miles an hour. And then you have one cell that's west of Sedan that's growing a little bit. Back in the Tulsa area right now, we do have a couple of cells that are pretty heavy and a little bit on the again, probably just borderline. It's not severe, but borderline very heavy. So we'll call it a heavy thunderstorm advisory for these coming in. So we're going to get another band of moderate to heavy rains coming into Tulsa at this point as that moves across the area. So those are the ones that we're watching the closest, and that's the thing that we will have to continue to monitor as well. So for severe thunderstorm warnings, again, for the southeastern Kansas ones, we do have that Labette County that Stacia was pointing out. That'll go till 2:15 a.m. That's a storm that's moving northeast at 45. So if you are in those areas, do be advised for gusty winds of 60 miles an hour. And then also could be some pea-size hail with that because that's near White Oak right now and continuing to move to the north and to the east. And then we have as well the other severe thunderstorm warning, which, as we said, is in portions of Craig County. And that, by the way, that severe thunderstorm watch goes till 7 a.m. I don't know if I even mentioned that. So that's something that we'll have to watch. But the winds are and the movement of these storms are so fast that is starting to show signs of at least getting out of here fairly fast, so some folks who want to sleep will be able to. With that leading edge of storms, though, you would still experience some power outages. And so again, we're only into western Cherokee County. We still have a couple counties to go to even get to Arkansas, and so there is a chance of having some issues. This is part of the real cold front, I'll call it, because this is going to be the really cold air. There should be some strong gusty winds. They're coming in from out of the west. Chloe's with us. Hey, Chloe, if you could, on Lynx 1, could you give us wind speeds, wind gusts, if you could, for our area? This is some heavy, heavy rain right now. And potentially, we've got some hail mixed in this in Sapulpa at this particular moment, on up to around Oakhurst area. So there should be a little bit of pea-sized hail. I wouldn't be surprised. And maybe some strong winds associated with that. So there's... we have one that shows the winds. Do you have wind gusts in the last hour or something like that? We can go ahead to go to Lynx 1 for a second there and show it as well. Sorry. So this is wind gusts here just recently. So we have 30. There's the 38 in Bristow. So these winds are coming in from out the west side. Thanks, Flo. And then we still have those strong south winds coming in. So there is a lot of action going on right in here. Now we just dropped off to 23 maximum wind gusts, 31 over in Stillwater. But that is some wind. And it is going to be a cold wind that is blowing in. So our temperatures are continuing to drop. Could you have the temperatures right now, Chloe? While we got 1 second to show this before I go on. So we're still hanging on 63 in Tulsa, but we have dropped from 57 to 52 in Bartlesville, 49 in Pawnee, and 52 at Stillwater. Again, that's some really cold air just north and west. Very balmy, basically, south and east, comparing differences. Okay, and then back to radar. And Stacia, if you would, have you seen any new power outage reports that have been coming in at all?
I just looked, not with PSO yet, but I'll keep checking a few other locations. But it's still mostly Tulsa County and Washington County for those reports. And again, when we last pixel queried this, power outage numbers were more so about 300 in Tulsa County and 200 in Osage County. So that still looks to be about the same. Now, the big picture of thunderstorms tonight, again, we have severe storms east of Tulsa. We also have severe storms to the north, and we have heavy thunderstorms in the metro on the southwest side. So we just talked about the storms over by Sapulpa. Those are going to track back into the Jinx area. There's some gusty winds and some small hail potential here near Oakhurst, and that could move towards Tulsa Hills, to Jinx, to Brookside. So that's going to track back through the southern sides of the Tulsa metro. To the east is where we have our line of severe storms that right now extend from Spavinaw and then down to Rose, Little Kansas coming up here soon, and down to Tahlequah. These storms are right on the west side of Tahlequah now. So Von Castor, it looks like he's on the northwest side of town. Right now the rains are back towards Gideon and Gabriel, but there's going to be probably here some 50-mile-per-hour winds or even stronger potentially as these storms track through parts of Cherokee County. So heads up for Ellerville and Lowry. You still have the storms to the west. Those are going to have to move through here within the next about 20 to 30 minutes. It looks to me like the speed may have come down slightly, so about 50 miles per hour as these storms track north and east. Brandon, he's down on 412. He's just to the west of Leech, east of Rose. So he's in the rain, and he's had, again, some strong winds tonight. We're going to track power outages in Mays County and parts of Wagner County here soon, but I haven't seen a lot pop up. Now, where Bob is up in Patton, that's going to be northern Mays County and up towards Big Cabin, there may be some small hail just on the west side of Big Cabin. Maybe pea-sized hail. That's right along the turnpike there, just north of where Bob is, and on the southwest side of Veneta. So the winds may get quite gusty in Veneta, and again, that heavy rain and small hail potential is just on the west side of town. Then up by Estella, there's some heavy rain. Centralia, this is all severe warned from Estella up to Centralia and back into Labette County, Kansas. So there's some gusty winds towards Edna, Labette County. That's all tracking northeast at about 45. So again, what I'm looking at here with the storms that are now getting into western Delaware County and moving through central, north central parts of Cherokee County, Trav, it seems to me like the speed is about 50, kind of slowing down just a bit. And then back into Osage County, Washington County, Bartlesville, the intensity has picked up a little bit right in Bartlesville on the southwest side of town there, Trav, with maybe some small hail and gusty wind.
Yeah, and if you could pull up Traffic 8, that'd be pretty cool. For a second, and we're going to look live in Bartlesville at kind of a cloud deck, and the lightning's just off to the left of the screen. I was watching that for a little bit and trying to figure out if how much heavy rain will be falling there, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. But again, just if you're on the south side of town, there is that heavy rain Stacia was mentioning, so just be aware of that. Also, it could be some strong winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour, so that is not out of the realm of possibility. And could you go to where was I? Oh, T4 for Tulsa International. This gives you a pretty good idea of kind of how strong the winds are right now. Old Glory is just whipping in the wind and the rain and occasional lightning and thunder. And you can see the tower right there that is going to be replaced before too long. As we're looking at what's going on, probably the biggest thing will be the winds and the colder weather coming in. But right now, the leading edge of those thunderstorms, still keeping an eye on that. So we have 2 waves of rain moving across eastern Oklahoma. And let's take a look at the broader picture of what's happening again, if you're with us and wondering. So we have the heaviest of rain and thunderstorms in Cherokee County. That extends now across eastern portions of Mays County, getting ready to move into western Delaware County. So this is the heaviest thunderstorms now in Cherokee County and just east of Muskogee at this particular moment. You have the wind showing up in Bartlesville with that heavy rain, and then you have the storms coming in through Sapulpa. Let's go down to the south to where Alan is located, because he's had to go through some of where some of these storms have occurred. Hey, Alan, if you're with me right now, can you give me an update on what you've gone through with the winds and rain and everything else?
Yeah, Travis, we made it to the east side of Muskogee, powered through that front line, and did a pretty good job there. The strong winds, of course, heavy rain, kind of blinding at some points. Turned back around and head back towards the metro a little bit. Man, we got hit with that hard wind again. It was easily 45 miles per hour winds again there for a very brief period, but we definitely felt the front side of it. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. So again, let's go back to radar and show you that from where this leading edge of the strong winds is located. And so Vaughn's right on that. So that's coming right through Tahlequah right now. Vaughn is pretty much just on the north side. And then Vaughn, if you would, let's go in a little closer on Vaughn for a second. You can see how curved that is as it goes from Ellery and then back up to Lowry. Vaughn, if you would, take us a little bit more onto what's going on there with the winds, if you would.
Yeah, this is on the north side of Tahlequah, right here on Highway 82, looking up towards the Pegs, looking up towards Pegs. There was a very interesting feature there associated with those high winds. And that little area that I crossed over Holbert, that's it right there. And very, very strong winds, but it was a lowered type of area. I'm not going to call it any kind of funnel or anything like that, but that's what's associated with those high winds right there, just north of me, probably 4 miles.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. That line of thunderstorms continues back to the south. So we can look at that again, thanks to Vaughn, Bob, and Alan, Sequoia, and Brandon. All these guys are out there tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Let's go back to radar if we could, guys. There you go. Thanks. And you see the turbulence. So this is high turbulence areas. You see these little curvature features right in here. So these are where winds, and that's why Vaughn was pointing out or talking about what he saw there, because in these little areas that you see, like right in here, and even just right along the leading edge of that. Let's go on up to where Brandon is located. And then we're going to go down this line, I think, Stacia. Brandon, I know you're ahead of the line right now. Can you give us an update on what you have at this moment?
Yeah, sure thing, Travis. So right now here in southern Delaware County, we're just near Leach on 412. We're out ahead of the main line. We're trying to find a spot here to slow down and turn around, but it's quick hit and go with the way that these storms are moving. So don't have a turnaround just yet, but looking back to the west, there's some very ominous, scary-looking clouds that are associated with this line. So still need to be watched all the way to the border. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Back to radar again, if we could, guys. And so this is the leading edge, again, from what Brandon was saying. So when he gets maybe to intersection here with Little Kansas, he'll be able to take a look back. But we have this strong area now just south of Leach. So that'll be some 50, 60 mile an hour winds probably right in here. And so you can see that has gone right into syrup. So this is very turbulent area. And when you have that, you'll get 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Very interesting to see this loop and then kind of like this. So you're having a lot of this going on right along the leading edge of that. So Rocky Ford one place, Lowry's another place. Then that's a strong wind event going on. So if you're in these areas, there is a chance you could lose power. So don't be surprised because these winds should be at least 50, if not more, like 60 in a few areas, could even be stronger. And so we're kind of getting a little couplet looking thing going on there. And then back as we go to the south, just east of the Moody's area now, and then you see where Vaughn is located. So he's kind of in a situation where it's coming out across Tahlequah at this particular moment. And so the leading edges, this is very, very dense and heavy rainfall falling. And then you have the strong winds associated with that. We'll have some small hail in this as well. And so that's what we're going to be watching. So, and you go further south, you even have strong winds going all the way now down from Park Hill. And then that extends back to the south toward and west, just near the Keys area at this point. So from 82 and then back down to around Qualls. So that's just barely on the west side of Lake Tenkiller. And then that kind of dies down a little bit as you get further to the south. We've had Sequoia on the far south side, so he's watching what's going on there. But some of the worst weather right now is right along this leading arch right in here, and Brandon's going to be really in good position. Let's go back up to the just southeast of Rose if we could, because this and the Lake Uchiwan are kind of interesting what's happening here. So this is near Rocky Ford. If you're near Rocky Ford, this is rotating a little bit here. So we do want you just to be careful. Wind potential is pretty high right in that area. And Stacia, I don't know, do you have time to do a storm track maybe for us and tell us a little bit? That would be great, because this is, it's just enough of a circulation feature that we should see some wind potential damage or some power outages. So if you're in that area, just be advised, it'd kind of be a good idea just to stay away or be alert to any changing things. We don't think it's anything super bad, but it should be some 50 or 60 mile an hour winds, so that could be rocking the house.
That's right, and that's going to be moving east-northeast at about 50.
Hang on one second.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
Brandon's got a shot looking back towards that area.
Does he? Okay, yeah. Brandon, if you would. Sorry, Stacia. Brandon, go, and then we'll get it over to Stacia real quick.
Yeah, Jeff, let me make this real quick. So we've had an opportunity to face west. We're looking due southwest here, just north of Twin Oaks here along 412. You can see off there when the lightning illuminates that feature along the leading edge. So that's what we're watching a very close eye on there. You can kind of see those lowering. So I call them scary-looking clouds. I don't see any real turbulent motion in that feature right there, Travis, but that's what we have to watch. Back to you.
Definitely. Yeah, not getting much lightning out of that, so I only see we've only had one lightning strike that we've been able to, there it is, there's a second one. All right, so that's right there. So thanks, Brandon, for being where you are. Appreciate it. Stacia, let's go over to you.
Yes, okay, so that area of circulation, tracking that east-northeast at about 50. So that's going to take it to Twin Oaks, to Little Kansas, potentially Cloud Creek. So here's the latest track on this. For Twin Oaks, about 146. Little Kansas here about 150, so 5 more minutes. Right now that circulation is right over Rocky Ford or just to the northeast. Based on our shear product, it may look like it has picked up a bit, just a little more intensification there, right about 560 Road over towards Highway 412. So Brandon's in a good spot for that. Again, Little Kansas here in about 5 minutes or so. Cloud Creek by 154, Rowe by 158 along with Colcord, and then Sycamore by 205. So this will track through southern Delaware County, Little Kansas up to Colcord. We're watching this for you guys really closely. East-northeast movement at about 50. Going back here, that's our shear product. If we look at it from our storm relative velocity, again, that circulation trav, just about 560 roads south of 412 and tracking up to the northeast.
All right, good information to know. Thank you. I want to go to traffic 4 for a minute if we could, and then we'll go to traffic 1, and then I want to talk to John Durkee, who's over in Broken Arrow. So again, the winds are going strong right now. We're getting some really heavy downpours of rain, and you can barely see Old Glory just because of the amount of rain. Old Glory's right there. 60? Airport had to say, okay. That makes sense. So I was just watching the camera, and I mean, the winds are going to town right now. So we're getting rain and wind and wind and wind with this. So you see what's happening here. Same thing's happening on, I think, traffic 1, still shaking pretty hard. And so with those winds, so it's around Tulsa area right now, those are severe winds that continue to blow across the area. We don't have a monster storm, but it's a windy storm. And so you get the idea, and we're at 169 Broken Arrow Expressway, so that continues to be anybody that's driving, listening to us at 1170 KFAQ, just be careful. As a wind gust like that and wet roads, that's a bad combination, so that's not good. Let's go and talk to John Durkee for a minute. John, what do you have for us, and are the winds hitting Broken Arrow as of yet? John, you there? John was there.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm there. Okay. Yeah, we've had wind gusts up to about 45 miles an hour as the second line comes into the Tulsa area. The wind has just started, and the rain has just started. So far, no hail. The lightning not near as intense as what we had an hour ago when the leading edge of this stuff moved through. But the rain has really started to pick up right now here. Back to you.
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it. So once again, just getting into Broken Arrow, we'll take a closer look on radar now of what's going on in this area. So you can see heavy rains and strong winds associated with this. So that's going now all the way from east to Jinx. So that's a hail core right there. So there was some hail involved in that as it went across areas, really from the Turnpike to near Glenpool and then back to the east. So that's what's happening in the south side of Broken Arrow. You're probably getting some pea-sized hail. Maybe you could get some penny-sized hail. There was some.
You go back to John's shot. It's really starting to pick up
Can
now.
we go back to 45 for a second right now? Oh, yeah. So it just hit. Pretty good there. John, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we just see it starting to come in.
Yeah, it's really coming down, but no lightning. The wind, not all that strong right now. Initially, we had some pretty strong gusts, but no real lightning associated with this round. But the rain really coming down. Back to you.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. So again, right in the Tulsa area, kind of a little bit of a rough go as far as winds are concerned and all that. Just make sure you're hanging on. And hopefully nothing too crazy going on other than the fact that we're going to get some of these winds of 50, maybe 60 miles an hour. So radar again, we'll go back into our area. So this is Broken Arrow is getting hit the hardest right now. And you see that leading edge of the stronger winds. Back behind is just some rain and some showers showing up. But so the east side of town getting that, and we had a maximum wind velocity of 60 miles an hour just a little bit ago. Let's go back to the east where we had that circulation feature. And we'll look at that because Brandon's pretty much right in the middle of that right now. Brandon, if you would, give an update on what's going on with that near Little Kansas. What did you run into?
Well, Travis, as we were sitting there, we got up to about 35, 40 mile an hour winds before we had to bust east. We don't want to stay too long to get buried behind the rain, but not too strong of winds what we encountered earlier, but still gusty, and we're going to follow this all the way forward. Back to you.
All right, appreciate it. So we're still getting strong wind gusts. Some of our maximum wind gusts showing up, as we said, around the Tulsa area, anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour. So that's still going strong in some of those areas, and a maximum gust of 60. Warning is now for that line of thunderstorms. So that just kicked in. And as it had to, basically, because we had 60 mile an hour wind gusts at Tulsa International. So that's why this line now is severe. So that's going to be tracking it across northern Wagner County. Allen's intercepting that again. And then also be for southern portions of Rogers County. And maybe if it can hold together, it might make it into western portions of Mays County. So again, northern Wagner County, extreme eastern Tulsa County. Let's get down to city streets in Broken Arrow if we could, again, real close down in, and take a look at what we have there. Can't tell, is John's shot about the same right now? Okay, and so when we see this line coming through, you can see where the heaviest of the rains are located. And so that line is very quickly getting the winds, then it'll die down after that. So again, moderate to heavier downpours of rain. So mostly this is a warning for wind and maybe some small hail. Do we have any hail showing up right now? Nothing really. A little bit was associated with that. Okay, so there could have been some pea-sized hail. Wind shear, if we could on that, and see if we have, and not even anything there. That's very interesting. So that it just picked up a little bit just on the south side of Broken Arrow with some 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Hail, okay, hail trackers picking up a little bit. So that is at least some showing up. Not that I want any, but there is some associated with that embedded in there. All right, that's the Tulsa area. To the north, you can see that that warning extends all the way into southern Rogers County with this particular cell. And then the other heavy cell and thunderstorm is right along the leading edge off to the east. That is no longer severe at this particular moment, but it is very, very heavy. We're going to talk to the guys one more time. Vaughn, if you could give us an update from the east side of Tahlequah. I think that's where you are. What do you have for us right now?
Yeah, nothing really too bad. I'm still right here on the front side of this line. Looks like I may start to get a little bit of that sporadic hail again. Big old raindrops, huge raindrops coming down. But rain right now. I'm just to the west of Eldon, right here where it goes down the mountain. So we're just going to kind of try to stay on the front side of this and follow it all the way over to Stillwell or wherever we got to go. So not too bad right now. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it. And radar, again, still very active as far as heavy rainfall in these areas. So Vaughn's going to continue to track. Nothing super bad along this line. A heavy thunderstorm advisory pretty much for this area. Also, I wanted to show, if we could go to Lynx 1, Stacia. And just wanted to point out some maximum wind gusts now. And then you see the one up around Pawhuska, and then the one in Tulsa, and we had a 60. That was registering 43, but then it went to 60. And so, Stacia, you got the heavy rain and thunderstorm I can see right now showing up across that area. So this is a looping to give you an idea. Whoa. So it just took off that. And so this is a rain from Tahlequah. I'm going to have you zoom out for a minute if you could. Sorry about that.
By the time you catch up with it, it'll be moving
Thank you.
out of the state.
And so this is the line of thunderstorms. It doesn't go too far south with anything severe. We haven't had to talk to Sequoia for a while. It's been a while just because of the intensity of the storms, not as much. So we do have the heavy thunderstorm here on the east side of Broken Arrow. And then we also have going on up toward the Grove area for a heavy thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm. So those are active areas at this particular moment. So if you are in some of these areas, just be advised for the heavy rain and the thunderstorm activity. That newest severe thunderstorm warning goes till 2:30 in the morning. And that's up around Ketchum, where that's moving at about 55 miles an hour. So lots of things happening. Stacia has storm tracks and some power information. What do you have, Stacia?
Yes, we're going to start in the metro. So we have our severe thunderstorm from Verdigris to Catoosa down on the east side of Broken Arrow now. It's had some gusty winds, some hail with it, very heavy rain, 60-mile-per-hour winds reported at Tulsa International. So as this storm continues to move east, this will be moving through northwestern Wagner County, southeastern Rogers County, and then into western Maize within the next 30 minutes. So for our track, we have Claremore at 156. You've already had some wind and some rain in Claremore. You're about to get it again. So it's going to be coming up from Verdigris, Tioga, McFarland, Inola, all in the track here. McFarland by 205 along with Inola. And then for Maize and Lusta, that's going to be by 217. So again, as you track it then to Pryor, that's by 220, and Adair also at about 220. So those are the storms on the east side of the Tulsa Metro now. Those are moving at about 50-55. The storms tonight have just been fast movers. Off to the east, we still have some heavy thunderstorms east of Jay now, east of Little Kansas. That will track through the far eastern portions of Delaware County, now northwestern sides of Adair County around Chewy, and east of Tahlequah. So Brandon and Vaughn have been watching these storms tonight. Those will move towards Siloam Springs by 206, and then over to Stillwell by 208. Westville, that's in Adair County on the far eastern side, that's by 212. Pineville over into Arkansas, that's going to be by 216. So again, I still have the track on those at about 50 to 55. And Trav mentioned the severe storms now in the far northeastern parts of Craig County. So Welch, very heavy rain with possibly some hail on the northeast side of Welch. That will clip the northwestern parts of Ottawa County. These storms are moving up to the northeast also at about 55. So within the next half hour, that's going to be up into Kansas and tracking over towards Miami here very shortly. Even at 60, that puts it in Miami by 157, Fairland by 158, and Potter by about 2 o'clock, Trav.
Okay. I was looking at some of the data coming in on the backside of this system. So we have a fairly significant cluster of thunderstorms that are kind of combining together. So that's going to be moving out fairly quick. It's very interesting what's happening with this area of rain. As these thunderstorms continue to track off to the north and east, again, some of the worst weather is going to be along the leading edge where there's a little bit more energy available for those storms. The secondary part is just pretty much what we call just dynamics. It's just the power of the system, the storm system. Mid-level, upper levels are just helping to push and catapult these strong winds and arcing basically across areas. And then you can see how we've had like a warning here, and then we'll get a warning down here in Tulsa as that continues. Then we have our other ones to the north and east. But this gives you a pretty good idea that most of this energy is going to be pushing on out. So far, though, heaviest rains and thunderstorms in Cherokee County, now moving into northwestern portions of Adair County. And so if you're around the Chewy area getting heavy rain, just not severe. Vaughn has been watching that. Vaughn, I'm going to go back to you, and then we'll go to Brandon, get another update. Vaughn, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm just right now on Highway 51 headed to Stillwell. You're right. It's very, very heavy thunderstorm with some hail in it, with some pretty high winds, but so far it's staying under severe limits, which is great. But yeah, I mean, it can pulse back up anytime, so we'll just stay on it. Back to you.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it. And so that's where Vaughn is located with leading edge of that. And then also just going a little bit further north, you can see where Brandon is located. Brandon's right here. So he's just east of Little Kansas, and he's moving to the east. Brandon, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis, well, we're just east of Flint Creek here along 412. We're getting into some light to occasionally moderate moderate rainfall. Not a lot of lightning. We haven't experienced any hail, and our winds come way down. I'd say 35 to near 40 right now, Travis. We'll see.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. So that's a lot of water, a lot of rain, and nothing too bad. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch till 7 a.m., but most of that is going to be pretty much out of here by that time. You see where Brandon is located near Dripping Spring, and so that'll continue to move to the east. You see around the Colcord area. Just glad nothing bad's happening. Let's go back to the north and west if we can. I wanted to look at these that line of storms coming in. And then Alan's trying to intercept it right now, this area. Alan, if you would, give us an update on what you see and what you're just about ready to hit that winds, looks like, some of the stronger winds. What do you have for us around Coweta?
Travis, we are chasing those winds right now. We're sitting at about 20 miles an hour, but I think we're just outside of that fine line as we speak, just coming from the leading edge on, looking to see the wind speeds drastically pick up. Some very well-pronounced cloud-to-ground lightning off in the distance. Kind of been nice to watch. But right now we're sitting about 20 miles an hour. We're right on the edge. I'll let you know when it picks up. Back to you.
All right. I appreciate it. So again, that leading edge of the second part of the storms, not overly impressive, which is good. So we're happy about that. As far as you can see, that leading edge also, though, extending north from where Allen is located, goes up through Claremore, and it's just a narrow band of very strong winds. So it's through Nowata right now, and continues to move to the east northeast. But if you're along this leading edge, you could have 50 to maybe 60 mile an hour winds, because that wind is pretty stout. Looks pretty weird too. You can just see this arcing area. So this is the rainfall and rainfall rates pretty much, because we call that the reflectivity values. And so the actual warnings are still south into eastern, well, really from Catoosa to the east, and then also in northwestern Wagner County at this point. And that's where the higher probability of some hail is located at this moment as well. But the winds up to the north, just in case you were wondering, yeah, they're blowing and going. You know that already. But the chances of having anything else significant with this second band is really just wind and hail. So there's no tornado risk per se in this group. The only thing that we would be concerned with if something weird happened along this leading edge, Vaughn mentioned that a little bit ago, that is now moving all the way through Siloam Springs. And so there's, you can see arcing with the winds in this area. Also up around the Miami area. Bob, we haven't talked to Bob for a while. Hey, Bob, update from you. Did you just run through some of these winds? What do you have for us right now?
Yeah, I'm out of the winds right now. The line's getting a little bit ahead of me. However, I'll tell you, it was interesting as I was coming up the turnpike when those trucks were getting blown all over the road. I had to get off at Afton trying to dodge them. It's getting a little bit old. But right now it's not too windy, maybe 20 mile an hour wind gusts, heavy rain, no hail. And I'm at the Afton exit. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, that's up into the areas around Miami. He's in near the Afton exit, as we said. And you can see that has moved on up now. So some gusty winds of 50 mile an hour to 50 mile per hour winds, or up to 60 mile per hour winds, because this is a warning area for you guys. So you're getting the strong winds now. Nothing else is showing up that looks super potent. So that's good. We've had the Cherokee County, Kansas warning, Labette County, Kansas warnings, but the main winds right now are in Ottawa County, and then the gusty winds going across Nowata County, extending back down to Rogers County and down around Catoosa. After that, the storms are done for a while. We'll probably have some strong or severe weather coming up again, maybe Tuesday night, late or Wednesday. we'll be watching and see what happens with that. Stacia, let's find out a little bit more from you about what else we have going on right at this moment.
All right, Trav, so our temperatures in the metro are dropping now into the 50s. So we're down to about 57 in Tulsa for those temperatures. So again, it's going to get quite chilly later tonight. And now it's down to, it looks like 54, 52 up in Bartlesville, 50 in Pawhuska. So again, that's on the backside of those storms. But the cold front coming in will actually create quite an interesting Sunday for us. Still warm, though, down to the south. And we're watching the thunderstorms even coming in on the back end here through Tulsa for those strong gusty winds. Now, the storm movement is still about 50, 55 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. Looking at our severe thunderstorm warning for the cells that are around Claremore, back to the east of Catoosa, that's going to be west of State Highway 88, west of Inola. So those are tracking northeast at about 55. So that will be getting into western parts of Mays County here within the next about 20 minutes. And then to the east, as Trav pointed out, in northwestern parts of Adair County out by Chewy, you do have some really heavy rain and some strong winds. This can knock your power out, but so far power outage numbers have been holding for Tulsa at about 300. We've had some improvement out in Osage County, which is good, but it looks like back up into Montgomery County, Kansas, there has been some additional power outages there. So that's about 1,000 customers. That's pretty significant up in parts of Montgomery County. So you're getting the power knocked out, and that's probably because of the strong winds that have come in with the last 30 minutes to an hour. So that may not have been associated, of course, with the severe storms that are off to your east. But then down into Tulsa, we still have a few folks without power tonight, about 800. So that's quite a bit as well. So again, power outage numbers starting to come in. We've had improvement in some areas, and then we've had more numbers come in. I would not be surprised tonight that you may lose some power out in Cherokee County or Adair County from the winds, and even into Delaware County as well. So that's what we have going on for power outages right now. Looking at radar, we do not have severe thunderstorm warnings for southern Delaware County, Adair County, or Cherokee County, even down into Sequoia County. These are all really heavy storms, but remaining below severe limits, something that we're watching closely as they do move closer to the Oklahoma-Arkansas line. Back up into Ottawa County, we have our severe thunderstorm. Bob Roloff is up there just south of Miami on the Turnpike, and then back into Rogers County and northwestern Wagner County. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning there. Trav mentioned the line of really strong winds, so this may wake you up tonight, and it's still located central Nowata County down into Rogers County, and you can even see it on radar here, but the velocities right from the eastern side of Nowata now down towards Claremore, that could be 50, and as he mentioned, up to 60 mile per hour winds. So still a lot of wind to come through that could knock your power out. Just note that, and maybe you had some lightweight items outside. They could be in your neighbor's yard tonight because of those strong winds. But for the storms, we still have really heavy rain falling across Nowata County down into Rogers County. Could have a few pockets of small, maybe pea-sized hail south of Claremore. And then for folks down in Bixby and north of Okmulgee, there is a few pockets of heavy rain there. But at least rain rates right now, Trav, look to me the heaviest off to our east, and the radar beam has to look higher up. So that may play a factor into it, but it looks like northwestern Cherokee or northwestern Adair, eastern Cherokee County just getting pummeled with rain right now.
Wow. Yeah, and it's still amazing that we're not seeing more severe weather. So knock on wood, we're pretty happy about that. Let's go to Lynx 1, if you could. This was when the storm was coming in, Winchester, and Winchester's just north of Okmulgee and south of Glenpool. And when that storm was blasting in, Nikki, thanks for sending this in. And there's, hopefully this will recycle, well, it pretty much did. But you'll be able to see that when that was coming across, that's when the winds were the strongest. Pretty spectacular little thing going on with that. And the winds there probably should be around 60, maybe 65 or 70 possible. I mean, look at what's going on there, and some of those tree branches are changing over quite a bit at this particular moment. And I wanted to point out too that if we could go back to radar for a minute, Stacia, and I wanted to take the loop back and take it to where we had that rotating area down in Okmulgee County. If you can back up far enough, I don't know if you
data.
Huh?
We might lose
Oh,
data.
that's right, we could. So I don't want to, yeah, we won't mess with that right now. But there was a period of time where some of that information, so that started showing a little bit of extra turbulence. Winchester's about right in here. And so that falls in the track where we had some of the worst wind damage reports that were coming in and power outages. With what's happening now, Alan is right now in some of that. Alan, if you would, give us an update on what's currently happening, not what has happened right now in your area.
Travis, we're right off of Highway 51, Coweta area. We've got 10 miles an hour winds, and, well, it's gusting about 30. That's about it we got right now. Trying to work our way into these other storms. Back to you.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad. It looks like it's a little bit more than 10 miles an hour. Is that somebody walking there? Yeah, there's somebody walking.
It looks like he's maybe walking home from work with a case of refreshments. So he's having the powering through the wind and the rain, but he's going to enjoy his evening, looks like.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night in T-Town, or in Coweta. I guess you are. You're in Coweta right now, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I am in Coweta. He's got gusts of 20-mile-an-hour winds, so he's going to get home a little quicker now.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's take a look at back to what's happening. I want to get up before Bob gets out of the areas from around Miami. Let's go up to around Miami where Bob is located at this moment. And you can see the heaviest of the rain now moving across Cherokee County. And Bob, if you would, you still getting about the same? I mean, the wind's about 20, 30 miles an hour. What do you have going on?
Yeah, Travis, I've turned around and headed back westbound to see if anything comes up on the secondary line. Right now, the winds are about, when I pulled over to do my U-turn, it was about 10, 15-mile-an-hour winds, moderate rain. So I'm kind of behind the line that's moving up into Missouri. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it. I appreciate everybody, even John Durkee, he's been a trooper because he's had a lot of things happen. So he's back with us. So that's good to hear. All right. Taking a look at what's happening in the far northeast corner. We still have that warning. If you're up around Miami area, this is heavy, heavy rain. Really, as you get into Cherokee County and south of Columbus and just north of Pitcher, that's where the hail core is the highest or the heaviest or largest potentially. And so that's moving north and east. And so that's moving out of our area. But that is an actual warning still hanging on along with what's happening in Ottawa County. So if you are in those areas, just know that that's about over with for you. That continues to move rapidly north and east. We don't see anything else that is showing up particular in that area, particular to that area. Back to the south, Brandon is located in an area that is, let's see, where is he? Okay, he's almost Siloam Springs right now. Brandon, do you have an update for us?
West Siloam Springs in Delaware County, we're getting winds out of the southwest about 20 to 25. You can see that in our shot blowing across the just blowing rain sideways. So not too terrible. The good news of all this is we got the much needed rain. These storms are moving out of the state, and we didn't have very much to deal with tonight. So that's a good blessing. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Brandon. Okay. Heavy rains now moving off into Arkansas. Take a look at radar and see what's going on. Again, that's where he is located, Siloam Springs. So strong gusty winds. Looks worse than it actually is. So now that extends back down around the Chance area, and then looks like it's going to make it. It's already in Titanic. And my friends in Wahilo, I still never pronounce that right. I'm just going to give up on that. Anyway, Rocky Mountain, and then extending to west of Lyons, and then Cherry Tree. So that's coming in. Turbulent and scary-looking clouds, but it's really not too awful bad. We're just seeing a little bit of wind shear, and so you can see some of that right now. So that's not too far from Rocky Mountain, and then that's moving to the east towards Stillwell. You guys could have some 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds associated with you coming up. So you're in the warned area yet, especially in the northern two-thirds of Adair County. So that part is there. Any further to the south, it's kind of rain, thunder, lightning. There's some brief moderate to heavy rainfall now down through Sallisaw, and that's where Sequoia is located at this moment. Hey, Sequoia, what do you have for us as that storm's moving through Sallisaw right now?
Oh, right now we just have power flash from lightning, and you can see the stoplights are out here in Sallisaw. We had some brief heavy rain. We had some hail about the size of about 1/8 of an inch. And winds were about 45 or so as this moved through. But like I said, the lightning is what took out these lights here in Sallisaw. Thank you, Travis.
Hey, thanks, Sequoia. Appreciate it. So again, that's going on down in Sequoia County with Sequoia. So back to radar again, and further south, it's just more rain and thunder and lightning down in LaFleur County. So we haven't had really severe weather. We did have some severe weather in Dallas-Fort Worth. They had a lot of hail sounded like that was down there. Then I also wanted to point out what was happening down around Okmulgee. We're going to take a look at that. Stacia put this together for us. So this was when the storm, this was Preston, Winchester, kind of close to one another, kind of in this zone right in here along Highway 16, Winchester just north and Preston to the south. So we started getting some reports of some really strong winds, and then as that moved off to the east, that continued to track, and then it went along Highway 52 and 16, and that's where we had some power outages being reported all the way down to Gun Club Road. And then from there, it continued to track to the east. So that's why we were watching what was happening there, because that got a little bit on the, we'll say, nerve-wracking side, so to speak. So that's where we did end up with some power outages. Stacia, do you have anything else? I mean, I'm looking, and I don't see anything too awfully bad with this warning right now. I don't know if the National Weather Service keeps that going. Looks like it's kind of dissipated a little bit, and I don't see any real strong winds at this moment.
I think they are going to just continue what's left of that warning into, of course, parts of Mays County, the western half of Mays County. They're just going to keep that there for those gusty winds. And it's really heavy rain tonight. It's obviously not a lot of folks are out at 2 o'clock in the morning, but those that are, these are kind of the thunderstorms that you don't want to drive through by any means. But they are going to continue that severe thunderstorm warning for Mays County until 2:30. So that's about 18 more minutes from now. Just looking at power outage numbers, of course, Tulsa County, we still have about 800 customers without power. A lot of that is with PSO customers tonight across Tulsa. So the wind was enough to knock power out. Of course, we've had some power outages, as Sequoia mentioned, due to lightning down in Sallisaw. But the big picture tonight is still heavy rains from Highway 75 to the east. The exception is going to be Okmulgee County, Muskogee County to the south. Where we find our strongest thunderstorms right now is really close to the Oklahoma-Arkansas line. We still have Brandon Wells and Von Castor there to watch those storms through Adair County, and now getting over into Arkansas from southeastern Delaware County. But for the eastern Rogers and then western Mays County, these thunderstorms looks like they have weakened, but again, you could still get some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, and then headed over towards Pryor and Adair. That's going to be, of course, from Choteau and Lusta to Sportsman Acres. So right over the radar site now. But again, that could be 40, 50 mile per hour winds. Some heavy rainfall now south side of Broken Arrow, just south of the turnpike. We do have Allen over there. That's Leonard to Stone Bluff, and rain's going to pick back up again tonight in Coweta. As far as hail is concerned, I haven't seen a lot of that with these cells around the metro. If you get anything at all, it might be very pea-sized, small pea-sized hail, possibly one other pocket there to the east of Beggs, and then up towards the southeast side of Claremore, just north of Inola, a pocket there of some small hail. But the wind is the bigger story coming out of the storms of eastern Rogers County and getting into western Mays. Again, across Tulsa, 60 mile per hour winds were reported. That was over at the airport. These are the same storms that are now into eastern Rogers County, getting into western Mays. So again, strong gusty winds right on Highway 69 from Choteau up to Adair tonight, or this morning, I should say. And then we have heavy rainfall to the north, strong gusty winds getting into western parts of Craig County. That'll track over towards Veneta and then back into Ottawa County within the next hour or so. Down towards Adair, Cherokee County, some heavy rain continues to fall. You're going to get some localized ponding on the roadways, making it tough to travel, especially in those the higher terrain, kind of going up and down through the more, I want to say mountainous regions, but the more hilly terrain there in parts of Adair County. So Von Castor right on Highway 59 around Stillwell, and he has heavy rain trav right on 51 just off to his west. It's still raining in Chewy. Seems like it's been raining for a while for folks up in Chewy tonight. Yeah, no kidding. And we're looking at severe thunderstorm warning it's not in Tulsa County anymore. For back into the Tulsa area. And let's look at rainfall totals. Could we do that here? Because if nothing else happens here in the next few moments, I think we're going to take a quick break and transition. Mr. Alan Crone is gracing us with his presence right now. And so he is going to be taking over with Chloe and taking a look and kind of finishing up this storm coverage, because we still have some pretty heavy thunderstorms. They're going to have to be watched for a while longer. But this is a look at some of the rainfall. So we had that band of moderate to very heavy rainfall coming in around the Henrietta, Okmulgee area, Muskogee, and then extending down around Tahlequah. And then we had this other band that came up from out of Central Creek County and then has moved northeast. So you can tell the storms have gone from the southwest to the north and to the east. Fortunately, we've been limited to very few severe weather reports. Stacia reported a little bit ago, 60 mile an hour winds in Tulsa. And I'm going to just go to Alan for just 1 minute. Alan, are you still getting any winds at all with those cells or not?
Travis, we're getting 15 mile an hour winds. That's about the max we've gotten so far in probably the last 5-10 minutes. it hasn't been super impressive. Maybe this thing's slowing down a little bit, but it looks like maybe another small sail coming right at us. We're going to hang here for a bit and see what we can get out of it.
Okay, because the strongest winds now appear to be not too awfully bad in terms of winds themselves. So we're kind of happy to see that in a big way. Thank you. I appreciate it. And with what we have going on right now, I would imagine that we'll continue to monitor for anything new that's going to be happening with that line of storms that's just off to the south and to the east, but or I should say to the north and to the east of us. So the winds, though, at this moment, most areas are about 25 to 30. That cold air is really rushing in, so this is going to make a big difference. It's going to be big-time jacket weather coming up. But to get these storms out of here, it's still going to take another hour or so, especially in the southern parts of our viewing area. McAllister, for example, is still sitting at 68 and a pretty strong south wind, so there's still a risk of some severe thunderstorms. We do have our severe thunderstorm watch till 7 o'clock this morning. So if you are going to be out, Mr. Crone and company, Chloe, that be, will be covering from here and taking us on into until the storms end, and Chloe will take us through Sunday morning. So once again, we're just going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with another staff meteorologist and what's happening in terms of what's going to happen. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.